as I'm asking them questions about the relationship, the wedding vision, how they met, all that good stuff, I'm actually like writing notes down. If they're giving me vibes like they're just like really high energy, like I'm writing that down. They just want to like have their like favorite people around, like I'm writing all these things down.
Welcome to the Hidden City Podcast. I'm Grant.
And I'm Doug, and we're here to share some of the incredible stories and people from Oak Cliff that you might not know.
We're going to sit down with some of the visionaries, craftsmen, and business owners who have shaped Oak Cliff into what it is today.
Oak Cliff is on the south bank of the Trinity River, a few miles south of downtown Dallas. While technically it was part of Dallas, it was its own city for a long time, and it still has that independent spirit.
We'll dive into the history and the spirit of this place, exploring the different challenges and successes that defined it.
This is The Hidden City, a podcast about the people and the stories that make Oak Cliff extraordinary.
Welcome to this episode of the Hidden City Podcast. Today we are excited to have Jordan Jeanty on with us. He's a filmmaker. He is the founder of Jeanty Studios. Jordan, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. Let's go.
Long time coming, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Filmmaker, founder, also friend
Yep.
here at Wax Space.
Let's
So
go.
thanks for jumping on with us.
Appreciate you guys.
Well, we're excited to chat. I want to jump into your history and your experience as a filmmaker. What got you into filmmaking to start, and then what drew you into weddings more specifically? Because that's kind of your area of expertise, would you say?
Absolutely. First, before I even get into you guys are legends.
Thanks, bro.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah,
and
man.
what you guys have built here and through Wax and with the space, like this is incredible. So
Thanks, man.
appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
and appreciate
thanks
you
for
guys
being a
having
part
me.
of it, man.
Let's go.
It's been
Yeah,
fun.
it's good. It's good.
So good. I guess, origin story. Type of person, I always loved to travel, and whenever I would travel, I would have my phone with me and I would just record stuff on my phone and really kind of just wanted to make these memories, have a good time with it. And then from there, realized that I had an interest in video, but I didn't know where I was going to take that.
Okay.
And so at the time I had left school, I was real quick. I was in school for like a year and I'm like, corporate America is not for me. I got to, figure something else out. And so I'm like,
Were
cool.
you shooting video on your iPhone?
Yeah,
or
just
more
shooting video.
okay, cool.
Really just video and
That's cool.
chopping it up on like iMovie.
Yeah,
dude.
Throwing it up on like
It's
Instagram.
The first camera for so many people.
100%,
Yeah.
exactly. And I also didn't have the money to be buying a camera, so I'm like, I
No,
gotta
it's
use what I
cool.
got.
Yeah.
But you were like using that and finding like, oh, I love this. I want to keep pursuing it.
I definitely want to like learn more, and I'm like, do I want to go to film school? And so I looked at the cost of New York City Film School. I'm like, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of just try to figure out what I wanted to do. And then you fast forward, a little bit, and I ended up joining a church in the Jersey area, and very creative church, and they had a film team. So I got the chance to work with real cameras and understand how to do all that, good stuff. And I did that for a good bit, and then met somebody at that, on that team who had their own studio, doing weddings. And I'm like, wow, this guy's work is official.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd love to, work with you and learn from you. And so brought me on as an intern there for 2 months, worked there for the entire year. And that was my first year in the industry.
And you were, that's amazing. Going from iPhone all the way up into industry for a little bit there too.
Yeah.
You're originally from New York? Or you, okay.
So North Jersey.
North Jersey,
I feel like for the people who are from New York, that are watching this, I'm not going to claim, New York. I'm from North Jersey. So about 25 minutes outside of the city. It's pretty much like a suburb of the city. But Teaneck, shout out to Teaneck, shout out to Bergen County.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
Man, I do feel like there's some magic in you said you were doing the iPhone thing, and then you kind of found a group of people at this church, or you start to have people around you that are also interested in it, and you're kind of learning from other people. And they're, I had a similar moment when I was doing photography at the newsroom at A&M. I was a staff photographer, and it was one of those moments where you're like, oh, I'm learning from this person. They're letting me borrow this lens. It's kind of a special moment in that growth kind of period of sorts. Is that kind of how that moment was for you?
100%.
Okay,
it's
cool.
I got the chance to learn from people who were doing it professionally and had so much grace with me, and they were probably hyping me up unmerited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, you're doing such a great job and everything like that. But again, a good friend, Dave Luderer, he's the person that put a camera in my hand for the first time, and
cool.
was super just
awesome.
gracious with me throughout the entire process. And it's you start doing it, and you kind of get that positive, feedback and reinforcement. And it's all right, cool. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I do have an eye, and kind of built it from there.
Man, that's awesome.
It's amazing what that kind of encouragement can do. I mean, you also were a part of a really creative space when you were back here in Dallas doing freelance.
It kind of kept happening. Like I feel like that's like it maybe doesn't go away. It's not like a stage per se, but creatives do want to be around creatives. I think a lot.
You always loved that aspect.
Yeah.
Of just like having not only people that you could look up to, but also like just people alongside you.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I'm trying this, and everybody's experimenting and trying new stuff.
Absolutely.
And some collaboration that's pretty cool there.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, even Waxspace, where it's like Jason helping us with these podcasts, or like all this, you're just like, there's so many. Yeah, I do think there's a lot of value in not going at it alone. Yeah. And even though, like, yes, it takes your ability and like you putting in your 10,000 clicks or whatever hours of filming and all that.
Clicks.
Yeah. No longer clicks, but whatever. Digital.
We get you're aging yourself a little bit.
Screen
pressing.
As they should do it.
You're right.
You know, go back to the
Yeah. Hey, but real quick, it's like I think when I met you, I didn't meet Doug the creative or like the photographer. Like I knew you like here at Wax. Yeah. And I think recently Zach had he had like a little like an art showing, and you took some photos. I'm like, wow, like he's in his bag right now. You know, like
he's
I had no idea.
He's getting back in.
He's getting. I'm like, wow, like I had no idea. You know, but it's
man.
cool to kind of see that and like see like your creativity. And I'm like, again, I see you as like Waxspace owner, you know, the person that's like moving and shaking and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
I gotta brag on
cool.
Doug for a minute. He was freelance photographer for what, 5-6 years at least. Before jumping into some of the other projects he's in, but was in the first shot on the iPhone campaign.
Let's go. Now he's aging myself.
There we go.
So there you go. There's a you can do the math on this, but had a photo that went like worldwide. Poster wise, got put up on all these billboards in Tokyo and Australia and like everywhere in the world. So
it was fun.
He had some awesome moments. And then at A&M, you got to meet a lot of cool people through.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about this with like filmmaking, but it takes you around the world and it's taking you a lot of places. But yeah, like Grant's saying, I got to meet people like Stephen Hawking or like I don't know, like photograph Obama coming to campus. You're like, there's these moments that are just like. This little tool has kind of opened up a lot of like aspects to you that you're just like, I never knew that could happen.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
But
I feel like I'm learning new lore about Doug right now.
I know. Well, we can't hype him up too much.
Yeah. All right, back
sprinkle a little bit in there.
All right, we're hyping Jordan.
So, I'm curious. You were working for this person who was already in the industry. Yeah. Was this in New York or New York area?
Yeah, New York City.
So what was it like when you saw him or her working and you were like, they're a professional, creative or creative professional. And what did that feel like for you? And then also I'm curious, like, what was the leap from like working for somebody to like, I'm going to start this studio on my own? What was that like for you?
Well, I will say, starting off, I was like, again, I was shooting stuff on my phone or whatever the case is. So I'm thinking like in the back of my mind, I do video, I can jump into weddings. And I think a lot of people kind of have that, that track, not a track record is not the word, but just that pipeline.
There's money there that like I can build off of.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
I had that opportunity, but I think when I got the chance to see his work, I'm like, wow, there's a big difference between what I'm doing and what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like again, I'd love to, get the chance to learn. And so I jumped on, and I think it was February 2nd of 2016, my first day ever walking into that studio.
Wow.
And I interned there for that 2-month period, and I was just really like getting a hands-on experience. And during the week, helping to edit videos, and on the weekends, like assisting other filmmakers. And again, you're just getting that hands-on experience. And so I did that for the entire year, and I'm like growing there and everything like that. But I'm like, I think there got to a point where I was like, I think it's time for me to take a leap of faith. And looking back, it probably didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But I feel like I was getting that tug in my spirit to just kind of like take that leap. And no camera equipment, no work to show for myself, nobody to vouch for me because everybody came from that studio. But just had faith it was going to work out, It definitely helped that I was living with my mom at the time, so I didn't have to worry about,
there's a little expense.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, just like jumped out, and man, it was like that first little season, I was like, I'm taking on anything that I can kind of get my hands on. So
cool.
I didn't have the privilege of just saying, like, I'm just a wedding videographer. I'm like...
You're like, yes.
Yes, whatever it is. And I'm like, I'm saying yes, and I don't even have a camera. So I'm like, imagine like you're hitting me up like, yo, Jordan, can you shoot this? I would take it on, and I'm like, all right, cool. Once I book this, now let me figure out how I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
You know, and so
now I can go rent a camera.
Exactly.
Or now I can borrow a friend's camera.
100%. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
going back to that guy Dave Luter I was talking about, he lived about like 45 minutes from where I was at, but it's like I would book something, and he had like some cameras that he just used for like personal projects, and like I would drive over and I pick up the camera and I pick up all his gear, his audio equipment, and then that's what I would shoot stuff on. And it's like super grateful for him because he allowed me to like pay him when I got paid, because I'm like, I ain't out of money.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You're like, can I just get the job first?
Exactly.
I do think there's something special about that. Maybe it's true for a lot of other fields, but like the creative world, there is that like, hey, help each other out a little bit, especially like lenses and cameras. And
Absolutely.
once you're in that industry a little bit, it's like, hey, I'm going to try to help or pay it forward a little bit in some ways. It's not always the case. People can be cutthroat, but
especially when you have like personal relationships with people, you want to see people win. You know?
I feel like I see that in the restaurant industry a little bit, strangely enough.
Yeah.
Like,
and also
maybe
Oak Cliff
it's just like
in
an
general.
Oak Cliff. Yeah,
I think
it might be an Oak
we've
Cliff
talked
thing
about
where
that.
like people starting up a new restaurant or like having a concept, like they'll work out of somebody else's kitchen for like 6 months or a year, and like
they're very collaborative or very
we've
free
heard that
and
story
giving.
so many times. But you're right. There's also a lot of like places where that is just not the case. Like if you are in any way competitive with this other person, then like they're gonna actively not help you.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like, sorry, I did not have that lens.
Right.
Yeah. So it is cool to see that like you found somebody who was very, I think, encouraging to you, and then also was like had an abundance mindset, which seems like an important part of
for sure.
that.
100%.
Today's show is brought to you by Oak Cliff Brewing Co. Are you interested in unwinding and connecting with neighbors over a great beer? Then go visit Oak Cliff Brewing Co. They've got a great tap room with all sorts of great beers on tap. It's a full production brewery here in the heart of Oak Cliff. Visit oakcliffbrewing.com to find out what's on tap right now and where you can find fresh beer made right here in Oak Cliff.
Was there anything, as you were kind of starting out this new business, new entrepreneur, like getting into the wedding industry more and more, like how did you were taking really most of everything, but was there anything about the wedding industry that surprised you, that you were just like, wow, didn't see that come in, or this was an awesome opportunity that kind of just came from?
Yeah, great question. I think me working in the industry for a year prior to, I think I had an understanding of like what that industry looked like. But I think when I was doing it on my own, I think there was a difference in like the type of job that I was taking on. So for example, if it was just like an event coverage, it's, you shoot something, it's kind of like you shoot it and there's no emotional attachment to it. It's like you shoot it, you deliver it, and it's like you move on. Same thing with like a business, small business promotional video. Like they're super grateful to get the chance to work with you, but it's like once it's out, it's out. Yeah. But when it comes to weddings, like there's that emotional pull to it, and it's like that you're creating something that they're gonna really appreciate, and it's gonna have that emotional value to it. And I think that kind of like drew me closer to wanting to be able to do that, because it's like you're building personal relationships, and also you're just being more personable, and I think it's just a little bit more of a lasting kind of experience, knowing that you're creating something that's going to like outlive you, and that's going to mean more for other people than it's going to mean
and they're going to watch that years down the road, hopefully, and just like remember that moment. We Kelsey and I have been married for 10 years now.
Let's go.
And so
Congratulations.
we just took that video out the other day and watched it, and I was just like, wow, it is like kind of just impressive to get to. I mean, we had, was it Matt Johnson filmed it back in the day?
Matt Johnson?
Matt Johnson,
Shout out to
YouTube star.
Matt.
Okay,
YouTube star Matt Johnson.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
He was in the same co-working space as Bradford and the one we were talking about.
He is based in the Dallas area, right?
He was, and then they moved to Austin.
Yeah, they're in Austin now.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. That's like Matt Johnson was like a big deal.
I'm telling you, man.
Even to this day.
Yeah. He's crazy. He's awesome.
Doug runs around with the big dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
But I actually want to kind of ask you this, because maybe you being in the creative industry has something to do with it. But 10 years ago, like wedding videos were kind of still like a novelty. So was that like hey, we definitely need to have a video, or is it kind of more just like hey, I know Matt's really good, let's just add it on and kind of see where it goes?
There was an aspect of, he was part of like our community, I mean, it's not the exact same at all, but like wax basis kind of thing. It's like, oh, I know this person, and we're like also like in the same group, and he does this. Like, let's see if we can hire him and work to do that.
That's
and so,
incredible.
it was And then Bradford shot our wedding.
No
and
way.
So,
Come
yeah,
on
dude,
now. What
yeah,
a dream
yeah.
team.
I know.
Yeah, we lucked out. We lucked
Yeah.
out. But
That's crazy. So anybody that sees this, it's like if they're on my Jeanty Studios side of like the my business page, they're gonna hear Matt Johnson, they're gonna hear Bradford.
Yeah.
It's like they're gonna immediately be able to connect that.
That's
That's
cool.
really?
That's so
Actually
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, and Bradford's the one who first connected us.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Because
over
I
here.
remember sitting down at the beer garden,
Yeah.
and you were like coming in from New York, maybe,
Something
or you were
like
like,
that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Bradford connected us and was just like, I think we were all just getting tacos or beers or
Yeah,
something,
and just hanging.
it was awesome, man.
A
It was
quick little
thankful.
story. I told Jason about this, but I remember I came to Wax for the very first time back in like 2018. I was still living in Jersey.
Yeah.
And I did like a mentorship session with Henry Martin. So
Yeah, that's right.
the video side of Bradford.
Yeah.
And it's like we did the mentorship session. It was at Wax. It was actually in
I was
this
gonna say,
I was
space.
about to say, it was in the
this
actual room.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a weird
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing right now.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
fast
we're talking
forward
about them.
7 years,
Yeah,
and like
I know,
we're
man.
back here,
Yeah.
and
That's
it was
pretty
all
crazy.
blacked out.
I
You
know.
had the projector screen
It was
over
a little
here.
different.
You
Yeah,
know,
you had those like little
Incredible.
lounge chairs and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, they'd be like
Wow.
all hours of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
They're,
Like
working
4 in
on
the morning,
things.
he's just like,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
just
yeah.
vampires, man.
Yeah.
That is so funny,
Just
man.
Yeah,
vampires.
so
That's
much
cool. So
greatness.
that was one of your first connections to Waxface. Was
Yeah.
through that.
That was my first time ever in
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
You know,
Wild,
Yeah,
man.
in
Dude, that's awesome.
in Oak Cliff, my first
Dude,
program ever.
you
I
came
think
to
I-
the right spot.
I landed and we just drove straight to Oak Cliff. You know, I love
Good.
it.
Good. I'm glad.
Good.
So good.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, what drew you to that? Like, so you started kind of doing mentorships in that industry, or was it?
I think I've always been the type of person like I want to learn, you know, and I think at that time it's like Henry was considered one of the absolute best, and I think
Yeah.
even now like people respect him as one of the
Yeah.
best in the wedding
Yeah,
industry. And
that's cool.
I'm like, let me get the chance to learn from him, you
Yeah.
know, and so. I wouldn't say that I mirrored my style off of
Yeah.
him, but it's like he was definitely one of like the very early
He's
influences,
inspo.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like very influential just to like the current state of wedding videography. Like Henry had a big deal, you know, big part to play in like where we are today.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, you know, if that's available as an opportunity for me to learn, learn something from somebody, I'm like, I'm gonna jump into it, and like it was super beneficial for me. You know,
Where are we today? Like when
Yeah.
you say that, like kind of like 10 years ago, yeah, we had Matt do this and
Yeah.
that, but like when you look at 10 years from to where we are now today, like how would you say wedding videos are? Like, or that?
Yeah, I think social media has a big part to play in the fact that like wedding videos are almost like at this point like stamped as like you got to have that on your wedding day. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like you just see so many people who are having videos and like they have all different types of styles. You
Yeah.
know, and I just feel like it's more of a priority than it ever has been in the past.
Yeah.
You know. It's just like I feel like we're in a great space, especially again with social media, with video, TikTok, and
Yeah.
everything like
Yeah.
that. Like video is king right now,
Yeah.
and so photo, it's never gonna take the place of photo, but it's like it's no longer just like an afterthought. At least in my perspective,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, having just gotten married and
Congratulations.
fortunately to get
Yeah.
to work together, I would
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that. But you're so right. It's like photography. I feel like having photos of the day was like maybe the thing that everybody did for a period of time.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yes, absolutely, you're gonna have a video of the day too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's just like, I don't know. It's another, like you said, it's a thing that you can go back to forever.
Yeah.
And relive that day.
Absolutely.
And kind of feel those same feelings of the day. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a great filmmaker can capture those feelings in their film, as well as like the sights and the sounds and everything else too.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like when you meet with a couple, what does that process look like? Where are you going to kind of get inspiration? How do you kind of take in feedback from them, but also then like how do you go about building each of these kind of individual masterpieces for people?
Masterpieces is a big word.
I saw that. I saw
that's
that. I was
huge.
like, dude,
whoa.
it is. Hey, we've seen your films. Come on.
Hey,
we've seen it.
I appreciate you. Hey, first off, congratulations. And
Thank
I
you,
wish
bro.
I wish
Thank
we
you.
could have got the chance
I
to
know.
work together. You know, so I want to talk about that. But to answer the question, I think for me, I think my personality is very observant. You know, off the bat, and I think I am like a bit of a people person, and I think I know how to like. Just like talk to people,
Yeah.
you know, like and like ask questions and like be really almost like observe more than actually speak. But it's like the entire process. It starts from the very beginning. So if a client reaches out, it's not just like, hey, cool, you reach out, here's my pricing. I'm like, no, if you like want to work with me, like I want to know who you guys are, and I want you guys to get the opportunity to know what I'm all about, and then allow that to play a role in your decision making process. And so they'll reach out, and then I'll invite them onto a call, and we'll have like a FaceTime or like a Zoom call, and I ask them questions about their relationship, and like as I'm asking them questions about the relationship, the wedding vision, how they met, all that good stuff, I'm actually like writing notes down, and so like I want to make sure I can keep track of the conversation. Yeah. And so if they're giving me vibes like they're just like really high energy, like I'm writing that down. If they're just giving me vibes that they're more like low key and laid back, and they just want to like have their favorite people around, like I'm writing all these things down.
Interesting. But even things that you're noticing about them, they maybe aren't saying. They're just
he's just observing them.
Just observing how they talk, like who's leading. You know what I mean? What their energy is like. Do they seem more introverted, more extroverted? You know, and just like writing it down and kind of like again, like it is fascinating to me. Like there are clients that maybe didn't book me, but I still have like notes about the relationship and like, the conversation. Yeah. And so I guess that's one part of it. If they decide to move forward, and then we'll connect on social media. And then so now I'm seeing like how they're posting, like how they're interacting, what they're all about, like what type of songs that they're putting on their their Instagram stories or whatever the case is. I'm keeping track of that, and then a month before their wedding day, I'll send them like a pre-wedding questionnaire. Just to make sure we're on the same page again. It's almost like a refresher as well. Yeah. So like, hey, how'd you guys meet? Tell me one more time. Like, what are you guys most looking forward to for the wedding day? What songs do you absolutely love? What songs do you not like? And so I don't allow them to like choose the songs for their videos, but it's like everything in the entire process is 100% inspired by them.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so when I create the film and I sit down and like, and even on the wedding day, like I'm thinking about like what vibes I was getting on the day. Was it more upbeat? Was it more chill? Was it more just like low key? And like I'm keeping track of that.
Is it totally chaotic?
Exactly. No. And you'll see that in the video. Like I've had some weird ones, but
oh dude, I can't wait.
Let's hear some stories.
Off camera. I think Jason and I talked recently about one. The majority of them are incredible. Shout out to my couples. You guys are great.
They're
but also just like that is an interesting element. The day of it can go a lot of different ways.
Right?
It may not. Which yours
is great.
Incredible.
Yours is amazing.
It was September. We thought it was going to be 100 degrees. It was like 65 degrees.
Oh, come on.
It's
September. It's like barely 65 degrees now.
It was a vibe. Best day, whatever. But I could also see, like, despite what the couples want, there's things that you can't always plan. And that can affect the whole mood of the day.
100%. And it's like I keep track of everything. And so I guess when I start the editing process, now I go back and I think about everything, and I go back to the note. I go back to like the pre-wedding questionnaire. I think about the wedding day, and like even like the song that they had for their first dance. That's gonna really help me to inspire the direction I go with their film. But it's like now when I get the chance to actually create their film, my goal is to create a film that's reflective of them. And so I don't walk into it like, hey, this is a Jeanty Studios production. It's like, no, this is like what Grant and Allie are all about. Right. Like let me find music that like speaks to them. You know, and also
you're like here to serve in a sense.
100%.
And almost tell the story that they're just being, because it's like authentic in that sense.
Story of them, and it's not about me. It's like there are going to be elements that's going to go from video to video, but it's like 100% inspired.
That's cool.
You're bringing the skill, and you have your own way of telling these stories. But man, that's awesome. When you're thinking about kind of all the weddings you've done, it's been New York City, Texas. Even in European cities too? Is that?
I don't think I've done Europe yet.
Oh, okay.
It's on the list. All over though. Like
where have you been?
Name some of the places you've been, because every time I talk to you, you're like, I'm just getting back from this place.
Well, the majority of the time is I'm getting back from the New York City area.
Okay.
My business was built there, and like relationships were there, so I'm always going back and forth. So I would say like 80-85% of my weddings are still in the New York City area.
Really?
Yeah. Nice. But it's like I might do Dallas, so shout out to Dallas, it's a
go.
beautiful city of Dallas, and shoot them. Maybe like 2 or 3 maybe like Dallas weddings a year, but I also get the chance to do like maybe 2 or 3 international. And so when I'm thinking about like the early 2026, I have my first wedding of 2026 is going to be in Cartagena, Colombia.
That's it.
So that'll be super fun.
Dude, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so much fun. One of my all-time favorites. We're in that city, and so excited to get the chance to go back. And then I think in March, I have Guatemala, so Antigua, Guatemala.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That'll be fun. Hopefully, I can get some European dates on the schedule. Would love to get out there to like Spain.
Yeah, let's get you to Spain.
Book Jordan for your wedding in Europe, y'all.
Listen, if you're trying to go to Europe, hit me up.
Turn it into a destination wedding.
100%. Yeah, so much fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that'll be fun. So is that you said you've a lot of them are in New York. Are
Yeah.
you trying to grow some of the destination stuff, or is it kind of like, hey, whatever is coming in still, like I just want to serve the best I can?
For sure. I think from the get-go, and this is really going back to like Henry, because Henry was doing a lot of like destination work, even Bradford.
Both of them together.
Yeah, they're always traveling. And so I think I saw that, and I kind of took some inspiration, and so I think when I thought about the idea of moving to Dallas, I'm like, I'm moving to Dallas because Dallas is going to be a centralized hub.
Mm-hmm.
I can get to the East Coast in 3 hours. I can get to the West Coast in 3 hours. So I'm like, I'm going to be a destination brand.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it's like, even though I'm living in Dallas, like the majority of my weddings are in New York, and I'm super grateful for like my clients and my relationships that give me the chance to get back out there.
That's cool.
But it's like, I think I've always had that in mind.
Cool.
I didn't necessarily come to Dallas to be like, hey, I want to, shoot only Dallas weddings, but I would say I live in Dallas. I absolutely love living in Dallas. I love officing in Oak Cliff.
Let's go.
There we go.
Grateful for that. But yeah, just I think that's kind of like where I'm going. I'm cool with just being able to just travel because, again, Dallas is so easy to travel in and out.
Yeah, that's great. I do feel like, it's such a central spot for
We're
going out.
we're lucky.
Yeah.
We've got Love Field that you can get anywhere domestically easily,
know.
and then you got the international airport. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
So Jordan, you're constantly working with couples. They're getting ready for one of the biggest days of their life, and then you get to be there for that day and get to document that. And you do this over and over again, and you get to see this. What is it like as a job being like connected to those moments so constantly? Because that's it's like a lot of emotion. A big day for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I would say I'm super grateful for the fact that like my work environment is just it's just good vibes. You know what I mean? Like I don't, there are people who, again, they walk into work every single day and it's like they walk into an environment that's like heavy or whatever the case is. And, like I'm mindful of that. But again, when it comes to the wedding day, it's like, again, one of the greatest days of my clients' lives. So the fact that I can be there for that is an honor, and I'm super appreciative for it.
That's a great perspective. The honor side, where it's just like, this is an honoring day, but we're saying
it is an honor, and I'm grateful for it, and I feel like it's not necessarily, overwhelming for me, like I think I'm appreciative, and I try to like, how do I want to say this? I try to be a calming presence on the wedding day as well, because with a lot of my clients, and like whether it's the bride or the groom, it's like it's a lot going on. So you can like I'm aware when I can see that they're getting a little like overwhelmed or they're feeling anxious, and so like I try to like be that calming presence, and kind of like bring them back. And I think that's like it's a cool experience, and it's a cool moment that I get the chance to share with my clients.
I love that because you've been there so many times. You can be like, hey, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's going to happen.
You know that.
Exactly. Perfect segue. Let's go.
I was looking for all sorts of calming presents.
You were looking for that.
And
just like, it's going to be okay, great.
Strangely, Doug was there. Strangely, I felt like Allie and I both on our wedding day were just very calm and like unreasonably so. Like it was like almost too calm, and I think that was a real gift for us because like we both weren't that calm like leading up to the day.
That's just how it is.
But it just like felt right, and I feel like there's. I could see too though that like there were a couple moments where you're like, I need someone who can like
we need to go over here. We need
be
to
chill for a minute with me, and so I'm sure that adds a lot of value outside of your filmmaking skills.
For sure, and also knowing when to like leave my clients alone. Give them some space to like breathe, and if I feel like, excuse me, we're doing like portraits or something like that, and it's like they're overwhelmed with the cameras, I'm like, all right, cool. I know when I can just shut my camera off because if you're uncomfortable, it's gonna look uncomfortable on video. And like,
it comes through.
It's gonna come through. You know what I mean? It's like with photo, they can kind of like get away with it, but it's like with video, there's no hiding.
It's gonna be an interesting thing to balance. That like, when do I step in and make sure I get this moment versus the like, this is a special moment that, whatever. Like, I need to back off for a moment. It's got to take some learning.
Just a little bit, and kind of like having that like intentionality and just like being able to read the room for real. I think that's what it is. But before we go any further, I want to hear about your wedding experience.
It was awesome, man.
I know we got the chance to like talk a little bit as you guys were prepping for it and then like leading into it. So I guess my question for you, I'm becoming the podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome to Hidden City Podcast.
Well, this dude like sat down and spoke with Allie and I, and like wasn't even like able that day to work with us, but like still spent time prepping us for it and like coaching us up. And so like Yeah, it was
Let's
like
go.
it was just a gift that you did that for us.
I love it. I love it.
But anyways, your question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so going into it, what would you guys say that you guys were like most looking forward to?
Yeah.
And I guess like coming out of it, what do you feel like was like the most memorable?
Oh man, those are good questions. I think we were most looking forward to just having friends in our like close family with us, and just like for me, I was looking forward to some of the like moments, like okay, the moment that door opens, I'm gonna get to see Allie, you know, for the first time. I was looking forward to it. I was nervous for it, but I was also like, I can't wait for that moment. It's gonna be awesome. I think there was a lot of those awesome moments throughout the day. Take away from going through that day, it was just, it felt like it didn't feel too rushed. It felt like we were able to like savor a lot of it. And honestly, the band killed it.
The band killed it.
Honestly,
It was way better than I
I feel like you were
thought
looking
they'd be.
forward to that. I think I remember you saying like you were looking forward to like the band and the food possibly.
Yeah.
Oh man, the band was
Food was
great.
fine.
Yeah,
band
food
was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So
That
that
was
was
awesome.
that was the funny thing coming out of that day that we heard from a lot of people. They're just like, the band was so good.
Oh
So
man,
Dude,
we were glad we did the band.
The honey
Let's
butter
go.
chicken biscuits did all right too.
Doug came
yeah,
through.
Yeah, you
there
ate
we
them?
go. There
We
we go.
we pulled a little like
Whataburger.
ninth hour
Okay,
move
listen.
to bring in like 300 honey butter chicken
let's
biscuits
go.
to the
Let's
wedding.
go.
So
As you guys should have. I feel like that's his Texas
Oh,
staple.
dude, it was
right?
great.
it was
great.
needed.
It
That
was
one
needed.
night, I think
It was
everybody was
needed.
looking for some food. So
There's a lot of dancing, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Dude, the
great, though,
band
man.
was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good move.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
venue, everything, yeah.
And what was that like for you? Like seeing your little brother
Oh,
getting married?
dude, the brothers
The
getting
best
married.
man over here.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Man. Let's
That's
go.
it.
I'm sure like this. Did you have a speech?
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
got
you
speech.
killed it.
We killed
You
it.
did.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Dude, I killed it.
He did. One line he dropped in there, and then just mic dropped away. It was like, with Allie joining the family, the good times just got better.
There we
Something
go,
like that. I
man.
was
The
like,
good old days.
The good old days just got better. I was like,
Yeah.
where did you
Yeah.
pull
See
that
again,
from? Yeah.
if I'm shooting a wedding and I hear that, I'm like 100% I'm keeping that. And it's like as I'm thinking about the timeline,
Yeah.
like I would use that clip. Boom! Like the music
Interesting.
drops and it's
Yeah.
like cool. Now we transition to another.
Oh, that's
moment.
fun.
It's like
That's
that
fun
right
to see
there.
how your
So
mind
you hear
works on
those
that.
things
Yeah.
throughout the day, and
100%.
you're like, I'm keeping
That's
that.
it. Like that's I'm gonna remember. You know, now when I'm
that's funny.
editing and I'm like, oh, that's the thing that I
Yeah.
made a mental note for. You know?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I mean, the wedding was beautiful. It was awesome seeing him, but it was also like, I'm just pumped that they found each other.
Yeah,
and that
100%.
like marriage is pretty awesome. And
It's
so,
pretty
like,
sweet.
having that moment.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then one last touch, because I remember we've had this conversation before, but I remember there was a time, I don't know how many years ago, maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were
Yeah.
like, hey, let's go grab a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we took a break from work, and then we went just to kind of like catch up a little bit. We're just talking about life. And then I think you hadn't met Allie at that time, and you
No.
were like, hey, like I'm starting to date a little bit, and
There you go.
whatever the case is. And so to think about that moment, to see, you know, you buying a house, you know what I mean? Like you guys, you and Allie meeting. I remember, I think I met her
Yeah.
at the brewery.
That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah,
And then,
you
like,
did.
you guys are engaged, and like now
Yeah.
you're a married man. I'm like, bro, that's
you
goals
get to
right
see,
there.
well, and you get to see that stage. Like it's
Yeah.
like this is us being in community a little bit together.
Absolutely, and that's what it
so-
is. Like
And,
that's community, 100%.
Yeah,
For sure. I mean, dude, thank you for saying all that.
Yeah.
It also just like a gift from
Yeah.
God. You know?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all those things, the way you just described it. But yeah. Today's show is brought to you by Waxspace. Are you looking for a place in Oak Cliff to connect and meet other neighbors? Then Waxspace is the place for you. Come join the Neighborhood Work Club, and for just $80 a month, you can get all the things you need to be productive at work. Why work from home when you can work from a place with other neighbors? We've got cold brew, fresh coffee all day, phone booths for your meetings. We've got a podcast studio and a lot of other amenities here. So visit thewaxspace.com to learn more and sign up today. It was sweet,
most,
man.
Most
Good
intentional
wedding day.
dude, Jordan over here.
Well, we
I was
learned
just-
something about Jordan. Go ahead and tell.
Oh no, just that this guy is like. I mean, when he's around Waxspace, he's saying hi to everyone, knows their names. But then we learned that you're getting to be intentional in knowing like things about them, and then also memorizing them. And you're just like, this is incredibly hospitable and intentional. Like it's definitely a goal. Because I think sometimes I'm like one name in and out the other a little bit.
yeah.
But when I hear this, I'm like, wow, that's like just creates depth to like friendships in an area, and so that's cool. Cool learning that just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
But how did that start? Or like it seems like it's part of your wedding stuff, but then also it's just who you are.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I will say, I think what you're talking about is like the nameless deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So
Tell us about the name list.
The name list, yeah. So I'm the type of person, like, I meet a lot of different people, and I'm always coming across people, and I try to, like, acknowledge people when I do, come across them. And I think I'm a visual person, so if I see somebody for the first time, like, I'm always going to get the chance to remember their faces. But names don't necessarily come, like, naturally for me. And I think I don't like the process if I'm, like, walking into a space and it's like I know I recognize somebody and I can't say hi and, like, greet them by name, I feel bad about that. And I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, hey, it's so good to see you. Like, we do that, but I think people can tell, like, oh, he doesn't remember my name. And so, actually, I think that started here at Wax. I'm going to, kind of paint the picture and kind of, like, bring it back. But I have a list of every single time I get the chance to meet somebody, I just, like, throw their name into, like a working list and, like, just put, like, a quick little sub note of, like, something about them. Like, I met them at this place or whatever the case is. And so I'm going to pull this up real quick.
Let's see it.
Let's do it.
It's a iPhone note.
Grant's,
let's see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it's in here, So I got a list called People Met. And
I love this idea, too, because it's like it's hard to remember people's names. Like,
100%.
even if you don't mean to not, like, remember them, it's just, but, like, that intentionality of, like, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to try to remember it.
And if it's important to you, like, creating these deeper relationships, I think, like, that is pretty cool that you're taking the actions. Like, it's like, a lot of people are like, I'm just bad at names. And it's like, no, what can I do? Oh, I can actually, like, commit some of these to memory by doing this and try to remember some of these things. But, sorry, you were saying.
100%. And I think, I think that's just, like, super, important. So I have this list, and I think the first name that I ever wrote down, the first, I guess, subnet under her name is Met at Waxspace.
No, dude,
and
that's awesome.
The second one, Met at Waxspace. Third person, Met at Waxspace. So shout out to my boy Nelson. Hernan. Hernan. So he's in there. I was like, Met at Waxspace, plant guy.
Yeah, dude, plant guy.
He's our plant guy.
He still is our plant guy.
He's still in serious plants.
Exactly.
He's got his own
he
shop,
stepped it up.
Dude.
That's a very Oak Cliff thing. But pretty much, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it in camera, but it's like literally like
just like that's amazing.
Full on list every single time I get the chance to meet somebody. Let's see if I can find Grant and Doug in here.
It's a thoughtful way of, like, not only remembering the name, but, like, I can bring up something I can kind of anchor to their name, and that means so much to somebody. If you,
it reminds me of
the
Unreasonable Hospitality book.
It is
like it's like
Unreasonable Hospitality for sure.
You're kind of doing that extra effort to make someone feel at home and good in some way. And so
I like that. Is that a book?
It's a great book. You would probably resonate with, like, the values in the book, but talk about, like, the guy who wrote it.
Man, I'm gonna butcher this, but what is it? Oh, Savannah's helping us out. Fact check. What? Will Gadira.
Okay.
He's the front of house at a restaurant, right? Or is this hotel? Thank you. And Jason's helping. Restaurant, hotel, all of that.
New York restaurant group, I think.
Yeah.
He basically was like, hey, we've got these chefs that are world-class Michelin star chefs.
Yep.
We should do the same level of care on the front of house, on the hospitality side. So he went to work on just, like, we're going to memorize people's names, but we're also going to, like, create exceptional moments for people.
Yeah, it was
exactly they're just over-the-top hospitality where, like, somebody will come into the restaurant and they're in New York and they haven't gotten a piece of New York pizza yet. And so, like, somebody will run out, go get a piece, bring it in. They'll do, like, a fine dining version of it and then bring it in.
I feel like I've seen like a clip of that in The Bear.
Yeah,
so
that's what he's reading. That's the book he's reading.
That's the book he's reading, and he also stars in it for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm talking about that. But no, Grant's 100% right. It's like the craftsmanship of hospitality and intentionality. And he actually, I think they have a conference workshop during one of your wedding weekends. Stay up there, and I think they host that in New York.
Absolutely, have to check that out.
There's something about, like, this idea that, like, people won't always remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
And I feel like you embody that at some level where it's like, hey, I'm going to make this person feel good. They may not remember everything about the conversation, but, like, by giving them, like, the respect of, like, remembering their name and remembering some of the things we talked about.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rare, there's not a lot of that, so keep that up.
And I appreciate that. And I think that kind of, like, made me think about, like, there are moments and, like, there are things that I get the chance to be a part of and, like, the relationships and opportunities that pop up. And it's like, do I take credit for, like, having decent, like, I don't think I have bad work, I think I put out decent work,
you do good work.
I appreciate that, but I feel like it's more than that. Like, honestly, like, God has opened up doors for me to be able to have these opportunities, but I feel like just me showing up and being intentional, like being being a team player. You know what I mean? Like, respecting other people, whatever the case is. I think that allows for these opportunities to pop up as well.
That's
so
cool.
that intentionality,
for sure.
I think that definitely has a place.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure, man.
for sure. Well, okay, so are we maybe in a decade of wedding filmmaking?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is there, with that, like, how do you keep that passion of like still driving and going after some of that while being in that industry? I mean, I feel like there's so much honor in those days, and you bring this intentionality. Like, how do you keep pushing forward?
Yeah, great question. And honestly, I think there's something that's in me that I always want to improve, And so like I've I've gotten the chance to like work on some really cool weddings and like put out some like really cool videos that have like gotten traction and stuff like that. But I don't believe I've created my best work yet. If that makes any sense, So it's like there's a part of me that I love being able to get the chance to serve my clients and everything like that. But also there's the creative in me where it's like I feel like there's more that I want to create. There's more that I want to keep on pushing, and like more work that I want to be able to say like, yeah, I'm proud of that. And I feel like maybe that is a driving force, like knowing that, again, I haven't created my best work just yet.
Well, and you've gotten your accolades too. Like I think it was Knott's the one to watch.
Yes.
You've been featured
Top
in New York Times, and all these
filmmaker
other
on
spots.
Loverly and a videographer on Loverly as well. So like you've gotten some recognition too for 10 years in, man. Like
it's awesome.
You've been killing it.
I'm grateful, and I think Bradford said this before. He was like, stay in long enough for it to get good. And I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm February 2nd is going to be 10 full years of being in the industry, and I'm like, it's incredible. It's crazy to think about, but again, it's just like I feel like I am just getting started. Like I don't feel like I've arrived just yet. You know what I mean? Like there's still that hunger. I know that there's still other levels, and there's more couples for me to get the chance to serve, more places for me to get the chance to see.
That's cool.
And I'm just excited for what the future has in store.
I'm curious. In your non-working time, which you have a lot of working time, I know. And a lot of the work you do is is after the wedding day. Do you ever find yourself exploring or like experimenting and stuff outside of weddings? Like, do you ever venture off into other types of film projects when you're just like trying to have fun or just enjoying your own craft? Or are you like, hey, I've got this focus, I want to keep this focus? Just curious how you think about that.
Yeah, great question. I think the majority of my work is weddings. I definitely do that for the majority of it, but I feel like I don't necessarily like do, I guess, other work outside of weddings, but I do try to like do like passion projects. And so like I would love to do more of these and like really just be intentional about like, hey, I want to tell the story, I want to do this. But right now it's kind of just me getting back to just traveling and just like creating for fun, you know? So if I get the chance to like go on like, I don't know, a snowboarding trip like, with my homies, like I'd love to like record something like that and put something together.
That's cool.
I think recently I did a High Rocks race and like that was fun.
Dude, I've been hearing about the High Rocks.
Yeah, so much fun. I feel like you would crush it.
Yeah, explain what it is, because I think some people probably haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I feel like the name is weird.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a High Rocks race, guys?
Exactly.
Come on.
So I think that the term High Rock sounds a lot cooler than what it actually is. From what I understand, I think High Rock stands for like hybrid rock star, which is probably not the coolest name.
Okay, I didn't know that part. That's funny.
But High Rocks is a cool little acronym or whatever the case is, or abbreviation. But pretty much it's a blend. It's like a hybrid running and like strength training or / endurance type of race. And so you're running 8K and it's like split up into 8 separate runs, and then in between those runs you're doing different stations. So you do like sled pushes, sled pulls, burpees, you know what I mean, farmers carries, things of that nature. And so I've been running over the last year. Shout out to Oak Cliff Run Crew.
Run Crew.
Yes.
I've been running with them for a year at this point, and it's like I just had a goal. I'm like, hey, like I want to kind of like just switch it up a little bit. Like, let me try something different. I don't have a goal for wanting to run a marathon right now, so I'm like, what can I do? And so I did this High Rocks, and a good friend of mine who's on the production team at my church, I'm like, hey, bro, like I'll put a camera in your hand. I'll set up these settings for you. This is what I'm looking for. Like, can you just shoot? And then so I'm like, hey, like low pressure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to take an opportunity to kind of create some personal content.
That's cool, man.
And so he shot it, and I think he was a little nervous when he gave me the footage. He was like, wasn't very, confident about what he was giving me. But when I finally sat down and went through it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can work with this.
Yeah, nice.
And so I was able to put like a quick 40-second video, but it's like stuff like that. Like I like being able to kind of just have that type of creative energy, just to do something fun that's not tied to work.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
I'm curious too, just like 10 years in, I'm sure there's now people that will listen to this and also just already know you that are like looking up to you and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
What is the advice going back to maybe 10 years ago for yourself? What would you tell yourself 10 years ago that you know now about, what it's going to take to work hard and kind of, establish yourself in the way you have? What advice do you have for somebody who's like starting out in 2026 or 2025, whenever they are?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Cool. So I think I'm going to speak from a perspective of somebody who is Christian, and so from the very beginning, I think it's really been like love God, love people, and I think from the very beginning, it was like God was invited to every single thing that I did, like God, I'm stepping out on faith with this. Like I have no camera equipment. Like I just need you to just open up the door, like, help me to figure out a way for me to be able to get from point A to point B, and like that was from the very beginning. And even till now, it's like everything I do, I'm praying before I do it. You know what I mean? So if I have a client I'm getting a chance to have like a, a one-on-one call with on like a Zoom or on FaceTime, I'm like, I'm praying beforehand. Like, thank you so much for, this client getting a chance to find me. Like, I just pray that you just bless this entire conversation that we're having.
That's awesome.
And then from there, it's like going into the wedding day. I'm praying before the wedding day. You know what I mean? When I'm joining, like getting into the editing process, I'm praying about that. You know what I mean? So I feel like just keeping God at the center of it is the number one thing. And also just trying to be a good person, you know what I mean? Like just realize that it's not just about me and like what I'm bringing to a wedding day. It's like, no, I am truly serving the clients I'm getting a chance to work with. Yeah. And so just being mindful of the fact that, again, it's not my show. Yeah. It's about me showing up for this client and then creating a film that's going to get the chance to like be a reflection of their relationship and a reflection of the love that surrounds them. And then the relationship that they've gotten the chance to build. So I'll say again, keep God at the center of it. Realize that you're serving people, and I guess just try to put out good work. Be proud of the work that you're creating.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome.
Great
advice. Great advice for all the things. I'm taking it. Jordan, man, I think your clients got to be just so lucky to have you as someone who's making films for them, and so and we're so thankful you're at Waxpace and the humility and intentionality and just the friend you are to us. It's been awesome, man.
I'm grateful for you guys, for the space that you guys have built, the community. And I say this all the time, like, I'm not from here, I moved here about 5.5 years ago, and like when I get the chance to meet people and they're like, hey, or even people that I've known from, when I lived in Jersey, they're like, oh, you're living in Dallas? Like, how do you like it? Is it the end all be all? And I'm like, I'm super grateful for it, and that's like, I think it helps that I get the chance to go back and forth so often, for work. But it's like when I think about the community that I have in Dallas, like the biggest hub is right here at Waxpace. So I'm super grateful for what you guys have built here. I'm grateful to get the chance to walk into a space and like, even though I'm not from here, I can walk in here, and it's like there are people that I know, people that know me. I can say hi to this person, hi to that person. I feel like there's a lot of value in that. So appreciate you guys for what you guys are doing.
Thanks for being a part of it, man. It's been fun getting to know you.
Jordan, before we finish the show, where can people hire you and take you internationally to their weddings or just here in
France,
Dallas,
to Spain,
where can people see your work and engage with it and maybe even reach out to you?
Yeah, I think I would say the number one spot is going to be on Instagram.
Cool.
So Jeanty Studios, Jeanty Studios on Instagram. If you are against the socials, you can just go on my website, jordanjeanty.com. You'll be able to see all that good stuff there, and excited to get the chance to meet anybody that reaches out.
Dude, that's awesome.
Let's go.
Thanks for coming on the show too.
Let's go. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Hidden City. We hope you discovered something about Oak Cliff that you didn't know. If you enjoyed the show, I hope you subscribe to it on YouTube and then follow us on any of the podcasting platforms. Also, if you enjoyed it, please share with a friend, and thanks so much for tuning in.